Hello and welcome to Celebrity Scoop. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to our channel for more interesting content. Today we're delving into the unusual living arrangements of King Charles and Queen Camilla. Now this isn't your typical royal tale. This is a story of a king and a queen who, despite their high-profile marriage, have chosen to live separate lives in separate homes. Intriguing, isn't it? King Charles and Queen Camilla, the royal couple at the heart of the British monarchy, have an arrangement that's far from conventional. It's not every day that you hear about a married couple, let alone a reigning king and queen deciding to live apart. It makes you wonder, doesn't it? Why would a couple who supposedly share a deep bond of love and respect choose to live separately? Queen Camilla, still very much attached to her beloved Wiltshire home, spends considerable time there, away from her royal spouse. King Charles, on the other hand, oscillates between his numerous royal residences. They lead separate lives, inhabit separate homes, and perhaps even exist in separate worlds. The question on everyone's lips is, why? Why would they agree to such unusual living conditions even before tying the knot? Could it be that this was never about love, or perhaps it was a strategic move to protect their individual interests? And if they are so distant, what does this say about the stability of the monarchy itself? The British royal family has weathered numerous crises. The departure of Prince Harry and Meghan, the scandals surrounding Prince Andrew, and now the unorthodox living situation of the King and Queen. It seems like one blow after another. If the monarch and his queen can't even share a home, how can they lead a united nation? Could this be a sign of a crumbling institution? Stick around as we dive deeper into this mystery. This story is far from over, and we're just getting started. Before we delve deeper, let's take a step back and look at the inception of this unusual arrangement. Jack Stooks, a former senior gardener at Highgrove, who had the privilege of serving Charles for over 2 decades, has shared some rather intriguing insights. According to him, Charles and Camilla had a pre-marriage agreement in place, a pact that they would lead separate lives, living apart. Now this certainly raises a few eyebrows. Why would a couple on the brink of marriage plan to live separately? Isn't marriage about sharing, about being together, about building a life side by side? Isn't love about companionship, about the joy of waking up together each morning and retiring to the same bed each night? Yet here we have a couple, supposedly head over heels in love, agreeing to live independently of each other. Camilla continues to spend time at her cherished Wiltshire home, away from Charles, who oscillates between his royal residences. Separate lives, separate homes, separate worlds perhaps. So, one can't help but ask, was it ever about love? Or was it a well-thought-out strategy, a tactical move to protect their individual interests? Did they, from the start, view their marriage as a business transaction, a merger of sorts rather than a union of hearts? And if this is the case, it begs the question, what does this mean for the institution they represent? The British monarchy, an institution that has weathered countless storms, now finds itself at the heart of yet another controversy. If the King and Queen themselves choose to lead separate lives, can they truly symbolize unity and togetherness? But perhaps we're getting ahead of ourselves. After all, this is but one side of the story, the perspective of one person. There might be more to this unusual arrangement than meets the eye. So let's not jump to conclusions just yet. Was it never about love? Or was this a strategic move to protect their own interests? Stay tuned as we continue to investigate. Having established their unusual living arrangements, let's now examine the potential impacts on the monarchy itself. The British royal family has been through a whirlwind these past few years. From Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's exit, dubbed Megxit, to the scandals surrounding Prince Andrew, the monarchy has faced one crisis after another. The separate living arrangements of King Charles and Queen Camilla add another layer to these ongoing crises. It's not just a matter of marital harmony, but the very perception of the monarchy's stability that comes into question. If the King and Queen, the figureheads of unity and continuity, can't live together, how can they lead a united nation? While some might argue that these are personal choices and have nothing to do with their role as monarch and queen consort, others see this as a symptom of a larger issue. The monarchy, after all, is not just about the individuals, but the institution itself. Any signs of instability or discord within the royal family can be seen as a reflection of the monarchy's own stability. Remember, the monarchy has always been viewed as a symbol of continuity and unity. It's not just about the individuals who occupy the throne, but the institution they represent. So when the king and queen choose to live separately, it's not just a personal decision, it's a decision that can impact the very perception of the monarchy. Moreover, these events could potentially exacerbate the growing public sentiment, questioning the relevance of the monarchy in the 21st century. As the monarchy faces these crises, it's not just the royal family that's under scrutiny, but the institution itself. So what does this mean for the future of the monarchy? Could these separate living arrangements, combined with the other crises, be the beginning of the end for the British monarchy? Are we watching the slow downfall of the British monarchy before our eyes? Keep watching as we probe further. So, what does the British public expect from their monarch and Queen consort? If we were to ask this question on the streets of London, Manchester, or any other city in the UK, we'd likely hear a common thread. The British public expects unity, a shared life, a shared home. They expect their monarch and Queen consort to be a symbol of stability and harmony, a beacon of unity in a world often divided. But the reality of King Charles and Queen Camilla's living arrangements paints a starkly different picture. Instead of a shared home, we have two separate residences. Instead of unity, we see a division of lives. It's an arrangement that defies public expectations and shatters the idealized image of royal life. Now, there are those who might argue that this is just a personal choice, that it's their way of maintaining independence within their marriage. But the fact remains that it's an unusual arrangement, especially for a reigning king and queen. It's a deviation from the norm, and it's a deviation that the public is struggling to understand. Does this separation indicate a lack of unity? Does it hint at underlying issues within their relationship? Or is it merely a reflection of their desire for independence? The answers to these questions remain elusive. But one thing is clear. The reality of Charles and Camilla's living arrangement is at odds with public expectations.
Alongside King
and
Charles.
this discrepancy between expectation and reality
The
raises
British
a crucial
government has a
question
plan
about
for
their
that.
ability to lead.
For many, the details of how
Can a monarch
royalty
and
works in the
queen
21st
consort
century
living
can
separate
seem
lives
pretty obscure.
truly symbolize
It's rooted,
unity?
after all, in a bunch
Can
of
they
archaic
embody the
rules and
stability
ancient
and
traditions
harmony
that most
that the
people don't
British
have to
public
deal with.
expects from
For
their
example,
leaders?
Queen Camilla,
This is a question
King
that
Charles
goes beyond the
III's second
personal
wife,
and
crowned
touches
in
upon
May
the very
2023,
essence of the
was
monarchy.
officially granted the
If
honorific
the monarch and
Queen
his queen
consort by
can't
the
live
late
together,
Queen Elizabeth
how
II,
can they lead a
Charles'
united
mother,
nation?
shortly before Elizabeth
Join us in
died.
the next scene as
In
we
her statement
continue this
announcing the
discussion.
move, the
As
Queen
we wrap
said
up
it
our
was
discussion,
her sincere wish
it's time to
Camilla
hear
would
from
have
you.
the title.
We've
The
delved
Queen's
into
words
the
aside,
curious case
at
of King
Camilla's
Charles
crowning
and Queen
ceremony
Camilla's
alongside
separate
King
living
Charles,
arrangements,
Camilla
a decision
became
made
Queen Camilla.
even before they
And
tied the
notably,
knot.
at the time of
We've
Charles
pondered
and
the
Camilla's
question,
marriage in
what does a
2005,
married couple
Camilla
choosing to live
expressed her
apart
wish
say
to be
about
simply
their
the
relationship?
princess consort,
And
the
moreover,
first of her kind
what
in
might it
history.
imply about the
Regardless
stability
what
of
Camilla
an
wished to be
institution
called,
they
as the
represent?
wife of the king,
We've also
she'd
recalled
still
the
be
recent
queen.
crises that
But
have
as
rocked the
even the
royal
casual
family,
royal
from
observer
the
is
departure of
likely
Prince
well
Harry and
aware,
Meghan
the whole
to the
royal
controversies
system works
surrounding
on
Prince
lineage.
Andrew.
In other words,
Now we find
kings and
ourselves
queens
questioning the
typically
very
pass on the throne
foundation
to
of
their
the
eldest
monarchy
born child,
as we see
not
a
their
reigning
wife
king
or
and
husband.
queen leading
The same can
separate
be said
lives.
for Camilla.
Is this
Should
merely a
Charles
personal
die
preference
first,
or a sign
Camilla's
of a deeper
title
issue?
might change,
Is
but
their
the line of
separate living
succession would
arrangement a
otherwise
simple,
remain intact.
pragmatic solution
Both
for a
King
modern royal
Charles and
couple,
Queen Camilla
or
were
a
in their
symptom of a
mid-70s when
crumbling
they took the throne,
institution?
making Charles the oldest
As we've
monarch
seen,
at the time
the
he
royal
became
family
king.
has weathered many
At the time of
storms
his
in the
coronation, Charles
But
was
could this
74
be the one
years
that
old,
finally
so a
breaks
short
the
reign
monarchy?
is a real possibility.
Or is it just
according
another
to USA
chapter in the
Today.
long,
If
complex
Charles
history of
dies
one of the
first,
world's
Camilla,
oldest
who was
institutions?
75, would most likely
Now it's
become
your
Queen
turn to weigh
Dowager,
in on
according
this
to
intriguing
Cosmopolitan.
matter. What's
A
your
Queen
take on
Dowager
King Charles
is
and Queen
effectively
Camilla's
a widowed
unconventional
queen
living
who maintains
situation?
much the same
Do you
place
see
of
it
honor
as a
as she's
personal
always
choice
had,
that doesn't
while
reflect on
otherwise
the
stepping
monarchy's
aside for the
stability?
next queen in the line
Or
of
do you believe
succession?
it's a sign
In
of a
Queen
system in
Camilla's
decline,
case, the next
a
queen
monarchy
would be
struggling
Prince
to
William's
maintain
wife,
its relevance
Princess
in a
Catherine.
rapidly changing
One
world?
other type.
We're eager to hear your thoughts and engage in a lively discussion, so don't hold back. Let's keep the conversation going. Don't forget to leave your thoughts in the comments section. And remember, this story is far from over. Thank you for joining us on Celebrity Scoop, and don't forget to subscribe for more interesting content.